let's get started with some programming. Turn on the music. Hope everybody's doing well today. I just finished some pomegranate yogurt. That was quite good. And now I have some seeds stuck in my teeth. It's the only bad thing, but I still think it's worth it. Okay. So today we're going to try to just continue with the mods that we've been working on for the last couple days, but the goal today is to implement some of the other pieces. Let's see which. Probably the easiest one, like I've said before, would be the rook. Or maybe even, actually I think the knight might be the easiest. So maybe we'll try that one first. But first off, let's see where we were. I guess I'll build another little client game like we usually do. So we'll have the editor be the host, and then this will be with the client, and yeah, it should load all the way in here. Okay, now this had an error. I think it's because it's not accessing the chess mod, so let's go ahead and fix that real quick. To copy this over to the build folder, and now I think it can access the mod. Okay, so it's still having some trouble. Let's see, this file is not easy to read. Might be easier to debug if we have the editor play as a client. Interesting. Never seen that argument exception before. Okay, it seems like it doesn't like the way that the XML file is encoded. Because it's calling it right here at the deserialize, which is in the table of contents loader. I guess let's just make sure. Yeah, right here. let's see if we can. What we should do about that. 1, 2, 5, 2. Okay. That seems easy. Oh, okay, actually it wasn't this, it was the, okay, so now let's see if that helps it. Okay, so it's still given the same thing. Doesn't seem to make any difference. Makes sense. It's strange I didn't include it, but what's it? Programs Unity Editor. It's a bit annoying to have to copy these over into the game, but maybe Unity will fix this in the future. Now we need to rebuild the client game. Yeah, it happened when this was the host. read it, so that's good to see. There is some bug that happens in non-host games, so let's look at that. Okay, so it's at the network player interface at line 67. Okay, so this is so this is null, or this is null. Let's see. It's probably a good idea, because I bet what might be happening in the clients is that it's getting the data back from the server before the scene has completely loaded. So it's probably a good idea to make any callbacks from the client like permanent, or not like a scene component, make it like a component in the actual game so that it's independent of what scene is currently loaded. Actually, if you do that, you still have to wait for a scene to load for something to actually listen to the message. So, let's see. Let's actually go. I just want to see the order that this happens in. Let's close some of these, clean stuff up. Okay. Maybe, see, the problem is this never even transitioned into the mod scene, so let's go back to the lobby scene. Okay, yeah, so this is the actual problem, is that this is never called for client games. I think, yeah, we actually need to have the host send out a message to the client. For that matter, it should probably on the loading screen we need to wait before we transition to the play scene that both of that all players have loaded. So yes, we should go ahead and add both of that information to the network. So let's see. The client or the PC. Okay, so what we'll do is each of the players will call this when they're ready to exit the lobby, and then once the server has received this message from both players, it will send this message, and this message will be what actually causes the games to start loading the mods. So we'll register another messenger here. To be, a little long, but exit lobby. So from here, let's see. Go back to the lobby scene. So we'll just do it simple that once a player says they're ready, they can't take it back for now. Probably maybe Send this our net ID. And then instead of just having a count here, we'll actually have a list of player net IDs. Messenger for the to tell the server that we're ready. Oh wait, that was right. Okay, and then let's see. So I guess we'll go ahead and just notify they're ready once a connection is established. Let's still, cause see this is actually never called on the client, only on the host. I mean, in the future, we'll always know, the client will always know when we've connected to the host because they have to actually choose to do so, but since we haven't implemented that yet, I don't know if there's an easy way. Well, I guess the easy way is when this function is called and it is local player. Oh, we can't do that because it's I guess we can add something else here. And then for now we'll just set this to true. Here we'll add another component. It'll just be a messenger. Or let's see. Instead of make it in here, let's do it in the local player information actually. here if value will fire the message. And then in the lobby scene, we'll register to that event I just created. Still there. Local player information. The listener. And here we'll just call that. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Of course, almost all this is temporary because, like I said before, the lobby scene will be much more complicated when we actually complete it, but I'm just trying to get something bare bones right now. And then, okay, so this is called the network player interface. Calls the command ready to exit lobby, which in turn calls this. Oh wait, no. So it should add this net ID to this player's ready to exit, and then we would check to see if we're ready to call the RPC exit lobby. So let's see. So we'll need 2 events here, I think. First is let's see, player notified ready, and this actually sends the net ID, which is an unsigned integer. Lobby. Okay, and then go ahead and subscribe to this. Oh, that's strange. Okay. here. And this is actually the net ID. So first let's loop through the players ready to exit list and see if we have a duplicate. Because that would be, well, I think we just ignore it, but so if it's not on the list, there's an easier way to do this. You could just say if contains, yeah. Why is it not like that? Oh. Okay, so then we add in an ID. Another error here would be if players ready to exit has more than 2, because there should only ever be 2 players connected. Basically, we would check to see if all of the connected players here match players ready to exit. Just to be safe. So if we got this far, then all players are ready. So we need to call another event here to have the server send out the load command to all the clients. Notice this component keys enumeration is getting pretty big. I think in probably in the full game that we make after this, we can have separate enumerations for each scene, but it doesn't really matter so much for this one. This actually needs to be out here. Let me call it. So the next thing is back here. Oh, yeah, it's actually RPC exit lobby. Okay, so one thing I just noticed is this message. Oh, actually, no, that should be fine. I was gonna say, I don't want to get into that bug we had last week where these weren't being called because only the local player registers for the events. But I think it will be okay here because only the local player should send these messages back and forth. So yeah, here. Oh yeah. Do the lobby. There we go. No arguments. So now we go back to the lobby scene. Yeah, we need to actually make another event here. Let's see, let's call it lobby. Should we call it this, let's see, lobby exit command, I guess, good enough. So I'll have one more event. Yeah, these server things, they always make so many events, but I think this is probably the cleanest way to do it. Here will be this hold on connection established. Yeah, we don't actually need this anymore. well, actually, one thing we do need is the see, this should actually be sent the lobby choices. But we should probably make a separate class that we can send over that we can easily send over the network in case we ever add something here that is not serializable. Let's see, what should we call it? What do we call the other one for the movement? Let's just freeze that for now. Oh yeah, turn action message. So this will be something like, okay, Athens and Unity. I guess it really shouldn't actually be, but call it lobby exit message. It'll return the mod folder and then player or the turn order choice. Okay, so I guess this will basically be returned from the server command start loading. So we need to change this to it's not gonna like that because it's the wrong namespace. Don't need to add the same thing up here. Normally it would populate this with the player's actual preferences, but okay, and then down here, first we'll do this, but so then we just copy the stuff from the message. And the reason that we're doing this is so that the server basically has the last say regarding these things. with these preferences, they should always match up, but so now we need to go and add this lobby exit message type to the back to the callers in the network interface. Oh yeah. Okay. Down here. Wait. Yeah. Oh yeah, so it's not lobby choices, it's lobby exit message. And then up here. Okay. So now I think we've cleaned everything up. Okay, we better actually subscribe to this before we set connected to true. Because otherwise, because right when we set connected to true, the on connection change event fires, which pretty much sets off this whole chain of events, so gotta make sure we're ready. Oh, that is a problem actually. So what we actually need to do is, because this player is created during the lobby scene, it's not, this on enter message won't be called until after won't be called until it actually enters the mod loading scene, so you should do something like this. Should work. Okay, we'll need to rebuild this. Okay. Oh, okay. Now see what happened there was that when I connected, or when I became a host, this network player interface was created, which called the connected, because technically it is, but, and then back over here on lobby scene, it said, oh yes, there's one player and it equals this, so it just went through all this, but we actually need to wait until the players ready to exit count is exactly 2. But that's not an error, that just happens. interesting. So one thing I can think of that might have happened. Let's see here. So player notified ready 1. Which was us, but we never got the second player to notify ready. Okay, so let's see what happens if we are a client. Let's add some more debug. Because I want to make sure that the client actually sends that information. Okay, so it does send it. Okay, let's rebuild the client maybe. Or rebuild the standalone, maybe that's the problem. Okay, so it did get this time, but it doesn't transition. Send some more debug strings down here. Okay, guys, I don't actually need any debug in that other spot. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so it's not getting this far. Let's make a breakpoint. I don't care about this one because that's just this player. start. What happened there? So that was player 1, which is the editor. Okay, that time I went through. Oh. Yeah, so this needs to actually be... The problem that was happening is because it was returning here because the exit count is less than 2. That's because we haven't added it yet. Okay, so now let's... I think we even need to attach it now. Okay, so that time it got farther. Something's still going weird in here, but let's see if what happened. All players ready, it's an exit. Where's this coming from? Oh. Yeah, that is misleading, so... We don't need that anymore. So it's just loading everything. Okay, so yeah, that's working correct, I think. Right, so what's next? Oh right, so now the lobby is pretty much working how we want. I think we need to wait. So on the mod loading scene, we need to wait until both players have finished loading. So we basically need to do something almost exactly the same as here in the lobby scene, except on the mod loading scene. Basically, so there's 3 phases here. There's the mod loading phase, and then the start condition phase, and then the board creation phase. And basically between each we need to have like a message to the server to to let it know that all the players are at that point. Because once all the mods are loaded, the server needs to send out the start conditions, and then once the start conditions have been received, everybody creates the board, and then it needs to send a message to the server saying that that's done, and then they can actually play. So it's going to be a bunch more events and little things like this. So the first one, yeah, let's change this. Oh, actually, yeah, it needs to have lower case right there, I think. It's picky about the name. Let's rearrange these. This is lobby stuff, so it should go in front. Okay, so both players will call this when once it's done loading all the mods. And then when that happens, once it's received a message from both players, it'll send this out. And then we need one more command like this. Let's see, command. I guess you really don't. Yeah, you don't need to send this net ID, I just realized, because it's always called on the corresponding object on the whatever game instance. So yeah. So you just send that ID value right there. I don't think we'll have to send any data back. Okay. Let's go ahead and rename. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't want to rename it because it'll also rename this, so. This is okay. Oh yeah. Doesn't need the argument anymore. So I already have the start conditions. Let's see. Then we also need to register for some event to call this command. these don't need these that type argument anymore. Okay. Alright, so show the mod loading scene. Since now it has these state transitions, we should have it take a bit more control. Let's see, where is it then? The mod deep loader. Oh wow, it's already been over an hour. Yeah, I wanted to get to creating pieces today, but all this I've forgotten about all this networking we need to do, but alright, so when does this start? Okay, so it just automatically starts when it loads. Instead, we'll have it start on an event call. Not registered, actually. Get component. Be a string. Component keys. This would be just be the load mod function. That. And down here, yeah, it calls the mod assets loaded. I just need to call that new event. What was it? Deep load, yeah. Okay, and then so when would we call that? I guess we'll just have it wait a few frames. Oh. let's do and then if the phase is startup, request mod load. Oh yeah, we need to send the string, which is the lobby choices. The mod folder in here. Yeah, so the timer. No, let's wait a second. Okay, and so now mod deeploader, when it's done, it calls this loaded, or this mod assets loaded, which I think, yeah, the translator just takes care of that. And then this calls the mod translation complete. Yeah, which we subscribe to down here. So then the phase is now start conditions. Okay, so we request the start conditions. So this is where we need to change things. So we're basically gonna duplify this code again. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. Let's see, let's make a static class. Let's see. We'll just copy most of this here. Actually, we should also have it send a new like that. I guess we should also send the server information. Oh, right. Oh. Here we need to return false. All that we return true. say if server, what's it, player ready checker. So if that's true, then all this happens, but we can take all this code out. But yeah, that's a lot better, I think. So similarly, we go back to the mod loading scene. Let's see, private. Really long function name, but then I'll copy this over. Keep on forgetting they're unsigned. Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, so actually, yeah, we get the start conditions in here. We actually take this out. Something like this. Now that we got the groundwork, let's go back and make sure we have all the events set up. Alright, so we request to send start condition. Function. Okay, so yeah, we need to create a... So now this is on the server. I need to do one more event. Did I already make it? I think that, yeah, that's down here, so let's see, request start conditions, or requested start conditions. So it's the net ID. There we go. So now we need to create this. I'll just take it out of here. So Player notified, or wait, it'd be player requested start conditions. Okay. Change this. Was it loading player request video? Okay, so now we have this. So the subscriber goes to the request start conditions. So we have it here. So, and it will call this function. Okay, nothing does yet. So we need to do another event. RPC. So this is actually have the starting conditions. Or what? Okay, so it does actually say the object. I guess that's okay. Why does it do that? Okay. Right, so now we've got to create this event as well. Mod loading scene. Keys. And what do we call it? Requests. I don't know, something broadcast. We did set this up, subscribe to it, so now all we have to do is call it here. Let's do a debug. So now this calls the RPC receive start conditions, which calls this. Which is subscribed to right here, so this calls the on receive conditions. It sets up the local info. And then this calls the create board command. Which we know the board creator subscribes to. So it creates the board and then it sends the board created message. Which is subscribed to right here. It calls on board created. Okay, so now instead of calling ready to play, it actually will need to send one more event out to the server. Okay, I guess we should set the phase here if we're going to use that. And then one more. Let's see. Next thing is this loading player. Oh wait, that's not what we need to call. So we got notify server ready to exit. Another event. And then we call this down here instead of ready to play. So so this is subscribed here, and so it calls this and then calls this command. Okay, so then we need to do something else. Like this. So on player notified ready. Basically just copy this over. Oh yeah, so over here we also need to clear the players ready list, because we'll just reuse the list over here. We don't have to do anything else except just call another event. What is it? Yeah, we call this loading all players ready server message.
this down here. And then what this will do is call here, and then it calls RPC exit loading, which is called on all clients, which calls this loading exit command event, which I think is the last event we need to create. Subscribe here, and then when this is called, oh, it's not a event. All we do is, what do they call that function? I guess ready to play. Okay, so I think we did everything now. Yeah, I'm convinced there's probably a better way to do this than having to create 4 back and forth messages, but should probably like separate these out into some kind of different handler for each phase. That would make things a lot cleaner, but this is just a loading screen, so if everything works, we won't have to change it anymore. So I guess let's just try it out. And then of course the whole point we're making this prototype is to test things like this so we know what to do better in the future. Actually, yeah, think about it, we actually will need to revisit this scene because we have to handle what happens if either player disconnects. Okay, so we got something here. Oh, I bet. I think I forgot to instantiate the players ready list. Oh, we need to rebuild the client. Now I hope you can see why a lot of developers don't bother with online multiplayer, because it adds a whole lot of complexity, even to something simple as a loading scene. Okay, it worked. Let's just follow through here and see what it said. As for start conditions, alright, let's change this to game completely loaded and ready. Right, well, at least we know the system works pretty well. Okay, I guess I'll try it one time where the editor is the client. Okay, it worked too. Great. Okay. We thought that might be a little buggy there. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I should see what the state of the placing is before we start doing anything else. It'll be the hostess time. Okay, so let's see what. Yeah, I'm the first player. Okay, see, the layer here is default and not pieces, so okay, yeah, so that was the reason that when I was clicking on the piece it wasn't actually selecting it, because the actual mesh didn't have the right layer. Also, where is it? This pawn prefab. I noticed it had an extra mesh filter on it because we were doing that to test the asset bundles before. So let's go ahead and rebuild it. I'm trying to decide, if the mod creator or the game should be required to set the layer. Well, I guess probably the game, because I was thinking that the mod creator could have extra like meshes on there, and not want them to react to the cursor. But in those cases, those meshes would just not have a collider. So I think we need the piece model creator. So here I have it set the layer. It just needs to go through each child and also set the layer. So what is it? Oh jeez. Piece layer equals, there we go. I'm just gonna cache it because we're gonna call it a lot. And then I think it's transform. Okay, components and children. Will this work? Oh yeah. Okay, components. Okay, that does work. So then we just say child layer equals piece layer. Okay, so that should be good. You know, one unfortunate thing about having done all this modding, or not modding, server stuff now is that As you can see, if we ever want to test it, we have to load this up. It probably would be worthwhile to make some kind of like debug test mode that just simulates having a client. Of course, that's another code path you have to worry about testing, but something weird happened there. Okay, so it won't let you just get components and children. This transform should work. I think transform is a it's a component. Another option, of course, is to create an AI player for testing, but that's quite a bit of work, so... Okay, there it went. Yeah, so now we can see the pawn has the pieces layer. Good to see. Alright, so now we're finally ready to actually make some chess pieces. We only have 15 minutes left, unfortunately, but let's see. So I think the knight would be easiest. Oh, yeah, and of course, okay, well this is good. We haven't actually made the... Oh no, we have done the piece behavior, okay. So let's see, in the chess mod, let's do it right here. Okay, so I'll just leave this pawn here, even though it's not actually a pawn, but this would be the knight behavior. Alright, so let's see what would be a good way to test this. Or not test it, but to visualize how we'll encode it. That's not supposed to happen. Let me see. Forever to load, sorry. Okay, yeah, here's what I want to do. Oh, it has my... Okay, well... Guess we'll just stick with this for now. I was gonna see if I could open an Excel file, but it's not working that well. I'll have to get that started for next week or tomorrow. Okay, well, actually, what is the comment? Oh, there we go. So the knight, its movement pattern. So if this 0 is the knight, actually, right, that looks okay. So we'll make the knight be this. And then any place it can move. Maybe I'll actually look at that for the knight, and any place it can move can be an X. Which is here, here, here. It's kind of like a circle around it. And the reason that the knight is easiest is because it doesn't care at all what is in any of these other places. It just needs one of these to be open. But since it has 8 different options, it actually still needs 8 tables. And each table is 25, so that is a bit of a pain to make. I wonder... It might actually be easier to create it in a program and then have it print all this stuff out for us. See, I can... helper scripts. Say knight. Yeah, we'll need to make, definitely for our modding tools, we'll need to have some easier, probably actually, basically something like this, that will, and then I'll translate this over to tables. Okay, so actually this is actually in an editor folder. Guess I'll just rename this editor. Yeah, this is gonna need to reload. Now this should appear down here in the editor. The editor project. We'll create another menu item. This actually goes up inside here. And then look static void, create behavior. This will be a static class and it won't inherit from mono behavior. So we'll kind of do something like our XML test writer. In fact, if I just call this generate function. king. Wait, yeah, you could say XML test writer. Like that. Oh yeah. Okay, that's fine. Maybe. Right, so we already know it needs 8 tables. Okay, and so let's see. We'll have a list. Actually, quite easier to do an array. So this will hold all of the move spots. I'm looking here. You can see you can go up 2, and then right 1, and so on and so on. Basically how it works is it's always 2 in one direction and then 1 in the other direction is how all of the knight's movements. So that's a -2, 1, and then -2, -1, and then it flips it. 1, 2. I'll just copy and paste all these. And 1, -2, then -2, or -1, 2, and then -1, -2. Alright, so now so I'll need to make a new table. What's it called? Okay, piece move table. So allow multi-turn, no. Doesn't have any turn restrictions, and then it will not repeat with anything, so it'll just be empty. Okay, so we know it's 25 by 25, so it has 5 columns. Less than 5. And so rename this to T. Okay, so there's 3. Either the option is the K is a 0, or is the one specific X that we're working for. So this is O divided by 5, and then wait. Yeah, O mod 5, then O divided by 5. So if option position is the center, let's actually create the new option. There's a piece move option. Then opt that his self is true, and we don't have to do anything else. Actually, yeah, we should set the table here already just so we don't forget. else if the option position equals, okay, so basically the center plus move to for this table, then option that can move to equals true, and so we can't have an ally, and then it could be empty or an enemy. Otherwise, it can be anything. Okay. So is that all the... Yes, there's just two there. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. Right. There it is right there. So we can see it wrote a bunch. It's hard to actually see. It's hard to see if, or it's not hard to see, but it's hard to tell if this is what we want or not. But we'll test that soon. I notice here that it made the repeat with tables null instead of putting in an empty array, so I think, yeah, see, this doesn't actually support that because it always is. I thought it would always have a 0, so say if the mod table repeat with tables equals null, then the logic table repeat with tables is just have it be an empty array. Oop, I didn't. Okay. Let's go ahead and change this pawn to be consistent. Then we'll change the table of contents. I just want to see if it will load for now. Did it load the knight? Let's see. Okay, it did load it right here. Cool. Alright, well, now that we know it loads, unfortunately I need to go, but so next time we'll be sure to add the knight model. Let's just take a little preview. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Of course, thank you again, Klupel, for these great models, but so yeah, we have the knight already, so I'll just need to extract it, put it in Unity, and then we can have it add it to